I regret having my kids. I know. That sounds horrible, like I'm some kind of monster, but honestly, I need to say it. I'm a new dad, 31 years old, and my wife's 30. We just had twins in October 2023, but before that, it's been a hell of a ride. A ride I didn't exactly sign up for, at least not in the way it went down. My wife and I spent years trying to have kids. Infertility treatments, hormone injections, surgeries, you name it. We went through the ringer. The whole thing was a blur of medications, ultrasounds, and constant hope that maybe, this time, it'd be the one. After 3 to 4 years of nothing working, we finally got pregnant. First time. I thought, okay, this is it, we've made it. But then we lose it to a miscarriage. It was a gut punch. I thought I was ready for this, but I wasn't. You can't ever really prepare for that kind of loss. We're heartbroken, but we keep pushing. Then, like some kind of sick joke, we get pregnant again. But this time with triplets. Yeah, triplets. At that point, we were so emotionally drained from the miscarriage that I didn't even know what to think. But the doctors told us everything was going well, and we're cautiously excited. We're finally going to have a family, right? But then, at 14 weeks, we lose one of the babies. Triplet A, gone. Just like that. It wasn't slow or drawn out. 1 second we're waiting for a heartbeat, and the next second, there's nothing. My wife delivered triplet A at home, and it was just done. No warning signs, nothing to prepare for it. And to make things worse, they told us that losing one meant we'd probably lose the others too. So, now we're in panic mode, but somehow we kept the other two alive. It felt like I was walking through a fog after that. We keep getting bad news after bad news. From week 17 onwards, things just get worse. My wife ends up in and out of the hospital, multiple times for blood transfusions. She nearly dies. I can't even describe the stress and worry of seeing her go through that. And through all of this, I'm still trying to do the whole supporting thing. But I'm drowning. It's like trying to stay afloat when the waves keep crashing over your head. At 27 weeks, they finally do an emergency C-section. I remember being in the hospital room, watching the doctor scramble around while my wife is getting prepped for surgery. She's gone before I can even process what's happening, and all I can do is wait. They take her away, and I'm left in this sterile, cold room, pacing around like a caged animal. I felt completely out of control, like nothing I was doing mattered. The doctors were doing everything they could, and I was just there. And then, when they finally brought our twins into this world, a boy and a girl, I thought, okay, we made it. We're going to be okay. But that's not the end. Far from it. My wife goes straight into another surgery to stop the bleeding, and they send her to ICU to fight an infection. I'm just sitting there, waiting, praying that everything will be okay. Meanwhile, the twins are in the NICU, fragile and tiny, hooked up to monitors. They tell us it'll be weeks before we can take them home. Weeks? I didn't even know if I could survive this. We were barely hanging on. The twins, thankfully, only needed CPAP for oxygen. But still, that's not something a new dad is prepared for. That's not something anyone can be prepared for. Every time we walked into the NICU to see them, it felt like the world was just crushing me a little bit more. You can't explain it, but there's a distance between you and your kids when they're in that kind of situation. You're there physically, but emotionally, it's like you're already checked out. And here's the thing. Even though they finally come home, it still doesn't feel real. We're trying to get our life together, trying to find some semblance of normalcy, but the whole thing feels like an act. They come home, and they still need care. One of them's on oxygen for a while, the other has a feeding tube and reflux. The first few weeks, I thought maybe this would be the moment I'd start to bond with them, that I'd finally feel like a dad. But the truth is, I just didn't. I still felt like I was going through the motions. I was holding my baby, doing the late-night feedings, changing diapers, doing everything a dad should do. But inside, I felt empty, like something was missing. I tried to talk to my wife about it, but I couldn't even fully articulate what I was feeling. I felt like I was failing as a dad, failing as a husband. I wanted to feel connected to them. I wanted to love them the way I was supposed to. But the truth is, I didn't. And it crushed me. Every day, I do my best to interact with them, try to make them smile, talk to them. But after 30 minutes of it, I felt like I was just done. There was nothing there. I never would hurt them, never. But I can't help feeling like I'm just a robot, doing the dad thing because I have to, not because I want to. It feels like I'm doing everything right on the outside, but on the inside, it's like I'm a ghost. I'm not even sure if they're really my kids in my mind. It sounds ridiculous, but that's how it feels. And no one talks about this stuff. People say, oh, you'll bond with them when they get older, or it'll get better. But I don't see how it's going to get better. I don't know when this feeling will change, or if it even will. And let's be real. How do you tell someone that you regret having kids? How do you tell your wife that after everything, you just can't feel that connection? I don't want to hurt her, but I also don't want to lie about how I feel. I wish we had talked more about the reality of what it would be like, but we didn't. And now I'm here, wondering if I made a huge mistake. I know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm changing diapers. I'm taking shifts in the night. I'm feeding them. But inside, it feels like a dead end. The more I try, the more I feel like I'm just going through the motions. I don't want to hate being a dad. I don't want to regret this. But here I am, regretting it. And I feel like I'm just waiting for someone to tell me that it gets better, that the connection will come. But I've been waiting, and it hasn't. So here I am, stuck, trying to do what's right, trying to push through this, but feeling like it's a path that might never get better. And I hate myself for it. I just want to feel something. I just want to be able to love my kids the way I'm supposed to. But every day, it feels like that gets further away. It's tough. It really is. But at least I'm putting it out there. Maybe someone else gets it.